Hi. The last time we met, I introduced you to the Operation Red Veil box set that was being recently released from Corvus Belli for their Infinity the Game science fiction miniatures game. And one of the things that comes in that box set is a set of cardboard terrain that they call the Neon Lotus scenery pack. Now, I understand that scenery pack is going to be released fairly soon as an individual product. And when I was putting it together, I did some research online to look for some advice, because the assembly instructions in the box are fairly vague. And actually, some of the instructions I found online, I didn't think went into all of the detail that I found useful when I was putting the pack together. So I've put together a few pieces that you can see here. Here are some miniatures from my collection to give you a sense of scale. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these to one side, and I'm going to get one of the unassembled buildings that look like these, and I'll show you how they go together, point out some things that you might want to be aware of, some possible pitfalls that you want to avoid, and explain what I think is both good and bad about this new scenery pack from Corvus Belli. So this is the first piece we're going to look at. This is the Cloud9 shopping centre. In fact, the one that I'm going to bring out is the Capsule Hotel, but in practical terms they're exactly the same piece, just with a different design. This one is, as you can see, it's a rectangular box with a noticeable parapet in the four corners at the top. It has a door on the front in one place, windows all round, but it's not intended to be an accessible piece. The only way to get up is with a ladder on the side, so you're not supposed to be able to get in. I'm going to just put that to one side, and this is how the item comes out of the box. So you can see it's a flat pack, and the original can be packed flat again if you want it to go flat, but once you've sort of unfolded it out, it is quite a solid build. So as you can see, it naturally just folds out into a hoop, and you can see straight away that the building is made up of a box and a lid that is going to be the roof. Best place to start is at the bottom, because this is the easiest bit. These tabs are all going to just fold flat. And they're folding inwards. I suppose if you were thinking of gluing this building to a base of some sort, you could fold them outwards in order to provide some sort of stability, gluing it down to an outer base. But if you're just building it for a standalone, fold them inwards. That's the easy bit. Gets a bit more complicated at the start. Now, the first thing we're going to do is fold this parapet in. Before we fold it in, we have to pull in all of these tabs. As you can see, there are 4 tabs that need to go in first, and those 4 tabs are going to provide a very important aspect of what makes this structurally a very sound piece of cardboard. After that, these 3 walls, the outer walls and front wall, have to go down. Now, they aren't separately broken up, they're all one piece, but these corners, so you can see inside, have got a dotted fold line. That isn't for those corners themselves to be folded, it's just to enable you to push the whole thing inwards. So as you push it down, in it goes. Now, this is important when you get to this point, because at the top of these corners are 2 steps. So those need to be folded out thus before they go down, and the whole thing simply folds inwards on top of the tabs that you've already folded in. So, oops. Get the step out, there we go. So once those are in, and this looks a little bit messy, but believe me, this is right. Once those are in, you can see the tabs are in, they're on top of the tabs that went in first, the steps are out, and there's a little broken lip just there that's going to be important in a moment. Having done those 3 sides, we then head round to the lid. The lid has tabs on 3 sides that again need to be folded down first. This one is particularly crucial because this is going to fit into this little gap here. So as you push that in, on top of all of the tabs. Oops. That will really fold inside. If I can get them all inside. There we go. Into that tab. It felt, as you probably saw, a little bit like forcing it, but actually when it does slide in, it slides in very firmly. So at the front here, that has fitted into a tab, and in the original Operation Ice Storm box, that was the main point of support, and it meant that these corners were actually rather wobbly because the main support was there. What they've done this time, very clever, you can just about see inside there, we have steps that provide additional support. See from that angle? The steps provide additional support, and those tabs that I folded in first on all four sides, they are now using the flexibility of the cardboard to push inwards, holding the whole thing in very nice and tightly. So there is our capsule hotel. As you can see, structurally it is identical to the Cloud9 shopping precinct, but they are slightly different designs. Capsule hotel is quite a cool little meditation garden on the roof. Around this side you can see the capsules themselves where our travellers are staying, and there's capsules on the other side, and then we've got a little doorway presumably into the administration office, or perhaps the bathroom around that side and on that side as well. But like the other one, it's not intended to be internally accessible. I'll come back in a moment and we'll show you the next piece. Right, the second piece of terrain that comes in the Operation Red Veil terrain kit, the Neon Lotus scenery pack, is this. It's best thought of as the box. Like the larger unit, it comes in two different designs, and one of them shows advertising. We can see adverts for Infinity Universe products, and the other one is a, I'll tell you in a sec, it's a recycling can. So I'm going to get the recycling can out and show you how it's put together. Pop that over there so you can see where I'm going. This is how it comes as a single sheet, and first thing is to pop out the white bits that you don't need. Just take away the four corners until it looks like this. And then the next step is we want to fold in all the sides, and it is all the sides. You get these little tabs on the edge here, and you can start thinking to yourself, well, where are those going exactly? Well, the answer is in. They are always going in. Everything in this goes inwards. The place to start is with the long part of the square. So you can see the long part versus the short part. So we start with the long part of the square, which folds over like that into a box. You can see it's got the flying tabs at the side, and it's got the tab at the top there. Now that tab at the top is going to go into a slot on the top of that one there. So that fits in, and that tells you you're heading in the right direction. Now all of these then need to be tucked inwards. And it's the same with these. This is the bit where when I originally came across this piece I was quite confused. I was trying to work out where did these tabs come together, and the short answer is they just compress against each other exactly like that. And the reason they do so is for the same reason as when we were looking at this big one here, and I told you about the interior tabs pushing outwards to create tension inside the structure that makes it stronger. This is exactly the same. These tabs here push against one another, create tension in the structure that makes it a stronger structure overall. Yeah. Oops. Well, this, ladies and germs, is why to practice twice before doing these things. Okay, the last time I did have a bit of a fight and I thought I'd got it together and understood it. Now I understand it better. So, having had a look at this, we were in the right place before. So we folded over the long bit. These tabs have folded in. They're going to create a channel for this to go down inside when these push up against them. It's that same thing that I just showed you with the tension. So the tension is there, that pushes in, and this little thing has got to get into that slot. This is where it becomes a little bit of a fight, as you can see. But even though it feels like a fight, which it did a second ago, which made me think I was getting it wrong, it is right. You can see, there it is in, nice and tight. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side then. So the upper tab goes down, the side tabs go in. These are going to push up against, that pushes down inside the channel that's been created, and the little tab slots inside. Actually, no, it really does. That one's fought me a bit more. There we go. It fights you, but it does work. And there it is, a box. Same as the other box, but with different pictures. So those are the first two pieces of terrain. As you can see, not intuitive. I had to do that twice just to come back and show you. But first two pieces of terrain, bit of a fight, but they do come together and make a really nice, strong, supported box. Come back in a moment with the third piece of terrain. So here's the third and final piece of terrain that you get in the Neon Lotus scenery pack. It's a bridge. Can you guess from looking at it? I couldn't. And I knew it was a bridge because I'd seen the introductory video. So, first place to start, everything folds inwards. This piece here, again, there is a fight to be had. It may feel like you're going to break it. You're not. It slides in through this gap here. Slides in, and on the other side, fold, slides in. So you can see down the middle, there it is, held together. Now when I first built it, I thought it was kind of, because it's infinity, I thought it was a kind of hexagon. But no, doesn't work that way. In fact, you've got to push it squishy, squishy, squishy down and fold up the sides. If you've missed that, because I had it slightly out of camera, I'll push it back up to where it was. Okay. So squish it down, squish, 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 fold up the sides, fold down the ends. Okay. Now in itself, doesn't hold together very well in that pose. You may want to glue that, perhaps. Quite like the detail, by the way, it's got the sort of the running cables on the bottom. It's a very nice touch. But although it doesn't really hold itself together, when you bring in a couple of the bigger pieces and slot them in, you'll notice that these parts from the rampart that stick out are perfectly positioned to hold the whole thing together. So again, what you've got here, because that's pushing outwards, is the same tension within the whole structure that holds it together, makes it really strong. Now, if you want to make your structure even stronger, Corvus Belli have been very smart. They sell their regular miniatures in their boxes, not the blister packs, but the box sets, come in cardboard boxes, and those cardboard boxes are exactly the same size as one of these buildings. Apparently the same size in Operation Ice Storm, and I never noticed. But in Red Veil, now I know, you can put the cardboard box inside here to give it some rigidity. Now there is a space then, so when you open it up and look inside, you'll see the cardboard box in, and then still a little bit of space. Now the cardboard boxes come with 2 sheets of foam to keep the miniatures inside them protected. So if you take the foam out of the box, you put the box inside the building, you put 2 sheets of foam on top of the box, That then fits exactly inside this space and gives it extra light, strong rigidity. If you also want to keep it from moving around, fill the box with rocks. Nice and simple. Now, I had a look through my collection in my studio. I don't seem to have any of those infinity boxes still. I think I actually cleared them out, threw them away. Now I know they're useful. What a fool. But there we go. If I get any, I will show you later. But that is how to put together the Neon Lotus scenery pack. So, inevitably, before I go, I wanted to show you the whole content of the Neon Lotus terrain scenery kit. This kit is included in the Red Veil 2-player box set, and I'm told, as I say, I expect it to be available separately in the very near future. One thing which is worth pointing out, if you watched my Red Veil versus Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video, then you'll have noticed that I dismissed the contents that was a poster on the grounds that I'm too old for posters. Well, I am too old for posters, but what I'm not too old for is game mats, because on the other side of the poster is a rather nifty, very good looking game mat. It's about 2 foot by 4 foot, so it's about half the size of the table that you'll need. So if you and a friend happen to both buy the Red Veil, you can stick them together and you'll have a full size gaming mat for playing on. The terrain, as you see in front of you, I've ended up with 4 of the larger units and 6 of the small boxes and 2 bridges. So for those that play a lot of Infinity, they would say for a proper game at 300 points or thereabouts, you need more than just 2 lots of this scenery. It needs to be quite dense, it needs to be multi-terrain, multi-level, but in terms of being a starting point to get you off the ground, learning Infinity, and even just as a nice set of very light, generic sci-fi terrain, this is a really, really good set. But as I say, it is a little bit counterintuitive to assemble sometimes, so you've seen this video, you know how to do it, spread the word, point other people towards this video if they're struggling, and hopefully they will do better as well. Thank you very much for listening to the video, and I will see you next time.